Well, these last two cases, just a few in a recent string of armed robberies at Indianapolis gas stations. It put employees and us, the general public, at risk too. So this noon, we are joined by IMPD Chief Troy Riggs to talk about the problem. Chief, first of all, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
We got to ask, does this have to do with the weather? Why are we seeing so many of these, especially at gas stations we all have to use?
Well, we've really clamped down on some of the pharmaceutical robberies that we've had in our city, and I think people are going elsewhere. What we're seeing is the same thing we're seeing with some of the homicide numbers, the continuation of the degradation of quality of life of many of our residents. We have 23%, 24% unemployment rates in our highest crime areas, and some people are turning to robbery. Doesn't mean that it's not the right thing to do. We certainly want to get those individuals and hold them accountable. We're also seeing small groups that are banding together and doing multiple robberies now. That used to not be the case. People are really scaring us in some respect because they don't seem to fear getting called as much as they used to. They seem to be heavily armed, and they don't seem to care about taking someone's life. So we've told people to be prepared, not to be paranoid. Work with us, get a preparation plan. I can tell you we're putting more resources in our robbery unit to try to deal with this situation.
And are there parts of the town, you talk about these certain groups, are they targeting certain parts of the town compared to others?
Well, right now we're starting to map all of that and make sure that we have some good planning. I'm not going to get into all those details, but I can tell you with a mobile society, this can happen anywhere. And don't be surprised if we find out some of the individuals are coming elsewhere to do robberies here, but also all of our donut counties need to be concerned as well. We're seeing an increase in robberies. A lot of that is to make sure that they can continue to fuel their heroin addiction. So we need to be concerned as a community, but we need to be prepared as well.
All right, let's transition now to something we all love to talk about, the month of May.
Yes.
Indy 500 finally right around the corner. I know that means so much for you guys, especially with the sold-out reserve seatings and so many people who will be in town. This weekend we've got Kids Day. What do you guys look at when you're talking about really securing the public?
Well, a couple of things. Every year we try to do something additional to make sure that we have a safer event. We learned from the previous year. We talk about what's going on nationally, best practices. The good news is because of the work that the Speedway Police Department does, the Indiana State Police, and also IMPD, we work together very well with our federal partners, so we strengthen that. But these are open events. One of the things that we're always concerned about as we look at what may occur nationally before these events, also internationally. We're a big city. This is the largest one-day sporting event in the world. So we need to be aware of that. So we're monitoring any potential threats. We don't have any at this time, but that could change overnight.
And you talk about other cities, other states. We just saw in Kentucky last week ahead of the Derby, their parade, an attack happened there. I mean, how are you looking at other cities and then protecting the folks here in Indy?
Well, and that's something we say, these large events. That was the Pegasus Parade in Louisville, Kentucky. We've been talking to LMPD there in Louisville. It's my home department, by the way. The first time they've ever had an incident like that, the Pegasus Parade. But it just goes to show when you have a few 100,000 people in one area, it only takes one person to really spread a lot of fear. And we want to make sure that if somebody sees an argument that's getting out of hand, they need to call us immediately before it escalates to the point that someone loses their life or gets shot.
So your concern is more maybe locally or domestic versus something larger like a terrorist organization?
It is, but you know, it's 2016. We have to be aware of that. So we plan for just about everything. And we try to mitigate risk as much as we can. But remember, we're an open society. With that comes some risk, but that's what America's founded on. And we're going to work with the community and continue to secure these events. But I cannot stress enough the hard work that our officers are doing. But sometimes it's those small little tips that citizens give us that break the big cases.
All right, IMPD Chief Troy Riggs, thank you so much for joining us today, and good luck to you in this very busy month ahead.
Thank you so much.